everybody. My name is Alina Z. My last name is Zhukovskaya, long last name. And I've been hearing a lot of people on TV say, you gotta shorten it, so I'm going under Alina Z. I will tell you a little bit about myself so you know where I'm coming from, what I do, and I will be happy to do it as a very interactive class. So when I'm doing a demo, it's really about you. If you have questions, if you want to stop me and verify something, please feel free to do so. I'm originally from Russia. I came to America about 18 years ago. I've been in Florida for 3 years. When I decided to change my whole life, my whole career, I was unhealthy, overworking, tired executive. I was a VP of marketing for one of the largest catering companies in the country. And my job was to talk and to eat. And I loved to do both, but the food that I was eating wasn't very healthy. Our pastry chef was the USA pastry champion. He was on Food Network and he was feeding me all the sugary snacks. I got addicted to sugar, got addicted to chocolate. And I was always out. I was out in the morning networking, talking, eating, then out at lunch networking, meeting people, always out, always working, didn't have time to cook. And I actually decided to start a TV show called Entertaining A to Z for people who like to eat but didn't cook, like me. But I wanted to find a way to eat healthier than was available in conventional stores and restaurants. So I got the tips from the chefs and made it healthier. But something still didn't work. I still didn't have the nutrition background. So I quit my job, went to New York to study at the International Integrated School of Nutrition in New York, the largest school. My teachers were David Wolf, was one of the teachers, the Raw Food guru. We had Ayurvedic teachers like John Douillard. We had Dr. Andrew Weil, Deepak Chopra, Debbie Ford. So it was really integrative nutrition and spirituality. And when I heard about raw food, I'm like, what is that? So I tried, I moved to Florida, changed my whole life, and I was commuting to New York to go to school. And I went to the Green Wave Cafe, and I tried a blueberry pie. And I'm like, oh my God, this is dessert, it's good for you, it's healthy, and there's no cooking, because raw food doesn't need to be cooked. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to teach people how to eat healthy and not cook. Prepare, create things that were healthy. And my background is in fashion. I went to Parsons School of Design. I studied fashion in New York, and I see people eating beautiful, beautiful meals at these fanciest restaurants, and they're so unhealthy. It's like dead flesh, but it looks pretty. So I'm thinking, okay, how do I make pretty and healthy and easy? And that's what I do. I make it good, I make it fun, I make it interactive. I'll give you my Z tips on how to make this process short and quick, and how to dress it up and accessorize your meals, and just really get people excited, because I'm not 100% raw. I go with the weather, I go where I'm traveling. Sometimes I want hot food, sometimes I want to cook sweet potato, sometimes I'm on raw fruitarian. I'm just eating fruit for weeks. So I've done it all. I've done fasts. I am certified a detoxification specialist. I went to the International School for Detoxification, so completed 2 levels. And so I know how to detox, how to live and have energy. And when I first meet people, they're like, oh my God, what are you drinking? What are you doing? Are you doing drugs? I'm like, no, I'm just eating raw food and green juices. And when you eat this kind of plants, this kind of plant food, the energy food, you do feel energy. So with that being said, I'm going to make some energy burgers. We're going to make sliders. And I have them cooking up here in the blue Excalibur, since it matches my outfit. I like the pink one too, it matches my car. I love Excalibur, I love Omega products, and that's why I've been working with them, because I just found them to be the best on the market. And I've tried other dehydrators, and they were not at all up to par, and I'll tell you more about the equipment. If you have questions, ask me, just raise your hand, ask me what I think about this, about that, if you don't know how to do certain things. We have 45 minutes, and I'm going to make the burgers, the cheese, and juice. So with that, I will get started on the burgers, and I went to the Graf Academy. Is anybody familiar with Jack and Gideon Graf in Atlanta? I know Asa is.
No, I went to Brenda Cobb
in Atlanta, yes. Jack and Gideon have a great school. It's a 3-week program. It's about 200 hours of raw food. They have a great house on the lake. You live, you breathe, you eat raw food from morning, day, night, 6 days a week for classes. And they learn about detoxification and how food actually affects the body from medical perspective, because Jackie is a nurse, the owner of the school. She is a registered nurse. So it's really great to hear her speak about being in a hospital, seeing how people are, and seeing how people change. So I absolutely love it, and I love to eat. Like I said, I love to talk. So hey, this is a good place to start. I do have the burgers already ready because it takes a while to dehydrate them. And I will show you my Z tips of preparing them depending on the size of your food processor. You can adjust it accordingly. It's gonna have nuts, so hopefully nobody has allergies. But we have two types of nuts in here in the burger. You have wet walnuts, soaked, and then soaked sunflower seeds. Do you guys know why we need to soak all our nuts and seeds? Does anybody not know? Okay, perfect. I don't need to tell you that. I'm going to, actually, no, I'm going to do the opposite way. This is a smaller food processor, so I'm going to work it in different batches so that everything gets mixed well. And I'm going to start making it with wet ingredients. Everything is organic. Everything is soaked, and I will start processing everything one at a time just so that it gets it going a little bit, wets the food processing. We have the onion. So you have the recipe I already gave. Sister got us the recipe. So you go on the website with the pictures. And usually I just put everything together except for one ingredient, but because of the smaller food processor, I want to make sure that we have enough. See, it starts dancing, and then if the dance is too long, then you know it's not going to be too much. So we'll put some of the walnuts in to start that process going. And I have the sunflower seeds. Bless you. Now I tell people my approach is for fashion. And what I mean by that is when you dress up, you know that for a woman, like 5'6", you're gonna wear different clothes than for a man, 6 feet, right? So the same, if you want something a little lighter and you want more vegetable, go ahead and add, instead of 1 pepper, you can add 2 peppers. And you can do less nuts. It depends how heavy you want it to make. I have only half a portobello. You can make more portobello, but it's going to be different flavors and different texture. But you want to mix it up pretty smooth, and in the end it's going to look like raw meat, so don't get grossed out. But it's pretty well mixed now, so I'm going to start separating and then mixing it up in the bowl too. I do have already juiced carrot pulp. And I'll tell you this, my Z tip, I read, when we created the recipe, it had carrot pulp. And I thought, you know what, I don't have the time. I'm just going to put carrots. They're going to be shredded. It's going to be fine. Don't do that. Carrots have a lot of water, a lot of juice. So when you mix them all up together, you have this watery mess. And then when you dehydrate, it takes forever. Just don't do it. So learn from my mistakes. We're going to put the rest of the walnuts and the rest of the sunflower seeds. I also have some soaked and then dehydrated sunflower seeds as well, just for texture. And one of my seed tips I do, can you guys hear me okay when this is on? When I soak the nuts, I soak them all at once when I buy them, and then I separate them into Ziploc bags. If I need nuts that are wet, then I'll freeze them. And if I need them dry, then I'll dehydrate them. So I already have a bin of dry dehydrated nuts in the fridge. I like to keep them in the fridge. Or I have them soaked and frozen in the freezer. So it works out well. So this is pretty well processed. When you're doing it for yourself and you have a small family, I would suggest halving the recipe so you don't have so much work. So it will take less time. And at the same time, I want to suggest to make enough so you can make the burgers and freeze them and then eat them over a couple of weeks. They last pretty well in the fridge. I'm gonna add garlic, the mushroom, and I have dried sun-dried tomatoes. So make sure you buy them dry, not in oil. You don't want extra oil. This recipe has enough nuts already. You don't want to add extra oil. We'll process that. And too much. I usually have the recipe for myself when I do it, or for clients. And just watch it, just use your judgment. I'm going to, everything's going to be mixed here anyway, so we will just move things along. And if you want other recipes, I have a lot of videos on ehow.com or my website on YouTube, so you can see how to make this stuff. And I have some cumin I'm going to put in here, and the salt, and I have my onion. Also cool Z-tip, when you're making food, go through the recipe and put everything out, so that way you can just put stuff in and mix it together. And then again, still keeps dancing, but it's getting pretty well mixed. And then all we need to do is just mix it. Make it, again, if you want it chunkier, make it less processed. If you want it smoother, you can make it more processed. And it's great anti-inflammatory because you have the omega-3s from the walnuts, you have antifungal garlic and onion. So it's great, like if somebody needs energy and they have a cold or whatever, and you feel like you want something meaty and heavy, but you want something to kill the bacteria, this is a great recipe for that. Okay. Then I have my the pulp. Just make sure that it's dry. And we can add it right in here too. Let's do that. And I'm going to actually put the sunflower seeds in here just to get them a little bit chopped up, so you'll see the difference. Those are not chopped up, but these are chopped up a little. You can pulse it too. To chop things, if you guys want to chop anything, I don't cut anything. I don't like knives. I think they're dangerous, especially when you're watching TV, when you're cooking. This is great to chop things. Just put one fruit, vegetable at a time, press pulse, and it chops things nicely. Or slice it in a slicing plate. And these are the only equipment pieces that I use when I'm at home or when I'm doing videos. And this is pretty much it. This is the burger. Then we're going to make the patties, and Sister Goddess will help me to assemble them on our lettuce. Absolutely. These are really great if you go to either buy them at Greenway or make your own onion bread, which Z-tip, if you're making onion bread, make sure I'll make a lot at the same time, because you don't want to be crying making those onions and then have to do it again and again. So I always make it a lot of it and use the Excalibur. And I tried making onion bread for a client in a Sedona. Has everybody used Sedona dehydrator? It's not the way that Excalibur's air flows. It evenly dries things to get at the same time. But when you're doing onion bread and it's a big sheet of onion bread, the outside gets dry, but the inside is still wet, so it doesn't get the even airflow. So I definitely recommend the Excalibur.
Are you giving the recipe for the onion bread?
I can give it to you if you want. I have it. Yeah. I don't have it here because it would be so much time to do it. An onion bread takes about 36 hours.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody.
Yeah. But the onion bread is really great. It's anti-inflammatory. It's great antibacterial. I love onion bread. Onion bread has 9 onions for 1.5 cups of. I'm sorry, already from this onion. By the way, do you guys know Z-tip? If you are doing the half of this recipe and you have half an onion instead of whole onion, you can cut it and leave it on the counter to soak up bacteria. So if somebody is sick in the house and you want to clear up the bacteria in it, so use the half an onion. And I'll show you how the burgers look when you make them. I made little ones because there's a lot of people, but what you can do, doesn't this look like meat? Like raw meat, doesn't it? It's just nobody got killed. So you can make them any size you want. They will shrink. You can make them like a little ball and then put them on your Excalibur sheet. And then I like to put like 3 fingers like that, so it has like little grill marks. And then you just dehydrate them. And I'll show you its sip. All right, we'll move this. So I'll take that. With the magic of previous making, I will get our. Now this has a timer, which is actually very cool because if you make these burgers this size, which is about 3 inches, they will take 8 hours to dehydrate on one side, and the next side 8 hours. So you have to flip them, and these are little ones.
Wow.
And what? Do we have the other sheet? No, the same sheet. Same sheet. I wanted to show you a little Z tip. I'll show it to you once we take these off. So, can I put these on the plate? Yeah. Do you want to put them on the little lettuce leaves for everybody? And we have lettuce leaf right there too. Noah already washed them. Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, he washed them right there. So we have. So we have some extras. But I'll show you this. Okay, do you want to put them? Take them on. When you have them in the big burgers and you don't want to, okay, you don't want to like take them in your hand and they fall apart. Oh, you take the other Excalibur sheet and you put it on top, and then you flip it this way. It's just food, and it just fell on a clean.
Exactly.
That's how I do my flex.
But that's how you do it. And they would not do this because they would be sticky to the other side. These are dried already, so I wash my hands. Okay, so we have the burgers, and then we'll make the cheese.
Yes.
Doesn't it look cool? Like you have this one, like.
Did those all start off that size?
Yes. No. I made these small. I mean, they will shrink maybe like to 2 inches. And I never really worry about calories because I figure when you eat raw food, your body tells you I'm done. But these are very addictive. If you make like your own raw mayo and you have your own pickles and then you have your cheese and you have the onion bread, they're addictive.
Wow.
So you make like burgers and people go, you eat raw food, you must be starving. But I'm a dessert kind of person
The
usually.
lettuce is over there.
Do you guys have any questions? Questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
I've tried for years to properly dehydrate things with my Excalibur, and I stink at it. I just can't do it, and I don't know why. And it's like the outside gets done, but the inside stays mushy. And I can cut it, I can cook it for days, but it still stays mushy. What am I doing wrong?
You know, but when I do anything, I always put it 115 degrees or less. I don't do higher. And I want to make sure that the door is closed so that the air circulates correctly. If I do only one sheet, I always put it in the middle, or I put them in the close together because the ones next to the vent are going to get dry faster than the ones in the front. So you want to create them as evenly as possible. When you flip them, make sure that the front ones go to the back and so forth.
So you rotate it.
Rotate them. I never had a problem with Excalibur, especially when making onion bread. It usually dehydrates pretty evenly. Make sure you don't have too high of a product. What are you trying to dehydrate?
I tried to do onion to seed bread.
Maybe it's too thick. I
Make it really thin, is that it?
When I do 9 onions for like I think 1.5 cup, 2 cups of seeds, I can't remember the exact measurements, but I know when I make the dough, I knead it and I knead it, and then I make it as thin as I can, but thick enough that I don't see any air, I don't see the bottom, but I make it thin enough. So it should take, for the onion bread, 18 hours on one side, 18 hours on another side. So it takes a while. I'm making the cheese, and I don't know where my gloves are. My gloves somewhere? All right, I'll just go catch it. All right. So I'll use a spoon. All right. We're making the cheese. I'll give you guys a couple of Z tips on the cheese. You can use the blender, or you can use the Vitamix. If you're using the Vitamix, you don't need as much water when you're using a blender without a pusher. You can use an infinity button here that pumps the air.
That's fine.
And if you're using regular blender, you can use more water to soften it up. And then to thicken it up, you can use things to thicken. Chia seeds, you can add ground chia seeds to thicken it up. A little bit of flax, but it will add more flavor. You can put some Irish moss also to thicken it up. So if you don't have a Vitamix, but I'm going to use the water here to get this going. Oh, you know what? Maybe actually for this one, I'm gonna do different order. I'm gonna do the red pepper first. If you are doing a sweet cheese, you can do the same proportion of the nuts and the water and the lemon and the salt. You can put the nutritional yeast that I have, and then you can add agave or dates, better yet, to make like a sweet cream cheese. So you can make it different flavors. If you wanted a raspberry cheesecake, you'd use vanilla and make it as a cheesecake. So same principle of the cheese, but just make it as flavorful. And I will turn it up. It's going to be really loud. Let's see. So I've done it pretty well. And the only reasons why I'm using the pepper here is for the color, because we want it like the yellowish, red cheddar cheese, and I like the flavor. And you can omit the pepper if you want. It's up to you. I'm going to squeeze a little lemon. Do you have a question?
What are you adding?
Lemon? No. Oh, cashews. I will tell you, I usually like to use macadamia nuts, but they're expensive. Macadamia nuts are more expensive, but they're better for you. They're anti-inflammatory. They're considered more raw than cashews, actually. But I wanted to show you with the cashews, especially if we're making such a big batch, and a lot of people who are making the cheese, they want to watch their budget. And you use cheese in moderation. You're not going to eat like a whole tub. So for these purposes, I use the cashew. But if you're going to make a cheesecake and you have the budget, I would say go with macadamia nuts, simply because you're going to get more out of it when you're eating a big quantity. All right, let's start. So that's a pretty good blender too, right? So it does similar things like a pusher will do, and then I'll add for some cheesy flavor some nutritional yeast, and for those who need the vitamin B12 and some salt. It's about a teaspoon. You have the recipe, so you know exactly how much to put.
Isn't it true?
What?
Is nutritional yeast raw?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
But it is not a colony creating yeast. So it's not the same yeast like Candida.
Okay.
Or if somebody has Candida, you cannot eat yeast creating or the products that have yeast in them. But nutritional yeast is not colony forming.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll tell you another thing about nutritional yeast. Process and make sure that it's really nice and smooth. Nutritional yeast, when you buy it, make sure that it is raw and not fortified. Because some nutritional yeast has additives to it. And it says like, it has great vitamins, this and this. And then you read it and it says nutritional yeast and then added vitamins. And that's going to be chemical. So You really don't want that.
Is it called organic?
Yeah, you can buy it organic, nutritional yeast. You can buy it online. If you've never had nutritional yeast, you can buy it. The cheese came out a little thinner than I was hoping to, so we'll just put it. But if you dehydrate the cheese, by the way, you can make cheese slices. So you would put it on a sheet pretty thin, and then dehydrate it, and then flip it over and have like cheese slice. And you can also use, if you make the cheese, like scrape it when it's really, really dry, and it looks like Parmigiano cheese, when you have it like slices. It's kind of cool like that. And I forgot to give you another Z tip on the burgers. When you're making the burgers, and a lot of people say, oh, you're vegan, how did you get the protein? So Jack and Gideon Graff came out with protein nuggets. Basically, you can take the recipe for the burger and make these little like pepperoni nuggets, and just, like put it with a spoon onto the dehydrator. And then you can put them on the pizza if you're making raw vegan pizza. You can put them on a lasagna, on pasta. It's just cute little nuggets. So you get your protein nuggets. That's what you get your protein. And you can make the sliders, you can make the burgers, you can make the nuggets. All right, and then we're gonna make juice. And I don't know what kind of juicers you guys have, but I've tried different ones, and Omega definitely has been my favorite. Have you guys used Omega juicer before?
I've seen it, I haven't used it.
Okay. Well, the cool thing about Omega is that it's not just a juicer. They call it a nutritional center, and for the right reason. They have these different little endings to it, and if you go on YouTube, I think I've uploaded on YouTube, you can make pasta. So we made our own fettuccine, and I actually made a cooked fettuccine with buckwheat pasta, buckwheat noodles. So I made my own buckwheat dough with just buckwheat, some flax seeds, some water, and I don't think we use any spices or anything. And then we put the fettuccine setting, and then you just put it in here, and it comes out like long noodles. So you can make them as long as you want, or you can cut them. So it's really cool. And you can make your own nut butter, so you don't have to buy it in the store, because you never know if it's really raw butter. Like if it's raw almond butter or almond butter, you can make your own like healthy Nutella in the food processor, with some cacao and agave and vanilla, and you can mix different nuts. So it's really cool. See my gloves?
Did you throw them away?
No, I did throw them away. I have a little box of gloves, and I'm just gonna wash my hands really well. I just want to make sure that I get my hands well. Yeah, it's okay. Alright, I wash my hands with soap so that I can touch the lettuce. And we'll make a pina colada juice. And do you guys like juicing? Everybody likes juicing? Do you have friends or family who's like, oh my god, green juice, get away from me? Yeah? Okay, cool, I love it. I love people go like, ew, oh my god, you're drinking that? I love it. So I have my tricks, my Z tips for the juicing. I'll do anything for people to try kale. I'll put sugar on it, chocolate on it, like as long as you try it. And I give people like those green bars, the chia greens bars and chocolate, like just try it. And they go, that's not so bad. So people get converted when they taste good, and then you slowly change your taste buds. So I like to use a whole pineapple, and you can buy it pretty inexpensively. You have kale, cucumber, some romaine. Romaine is great for juicing. And I have some lemon if you want it a little tart. The Z tip with this juicer, I like to use the cheaper products and the juicier products first, and then put the greens to push them through because the pulp can get stuck here. And I'll mix it up here. And it goes pretty quick. I like to pre-cut everything, and I make my juice once every 3 days. And then I just put it in the mason jars. Do you guys know what mason jars are?
Yeah.
The glass mason jars, and just it sits in the fridge pretty well for 3 days. Oh, we have somebody else.
Is it?
Just in time for eating. I like to actually use the pulp too when I have the juice pulp. Do you guys use the juice pulp?
Yeah.
For crackers? I love it to make like little, you can add some nut butter. The easiest thing is just you add nut butter to it and you dehydrate them. And you can add some sea vegetables, you can add some tahini, some basil too, works really well. I like to add herbs too, and usually when I make my juice, it's like putting an outfit together. You know, it really is. You know, I like to keep it simple, so I'll use one watery vegetable, I'll use one fruit if I'm in the mood for fruit, sometimes I keep it all green, one green, and I usually add one herb. So depending if I feel like eating parsley or dandelion greens, and I like to keep it to like 4 ingredients usually. If it's a newbie to green juicing, I always make it sweet because people's taste buds, oh my god. I was working on this video shoot with PBS this week. I did a fitness video. It's interesting. But you know, you have all these fitness people and they are drinking Coke. Oh! And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you're in the health and they think that it's great and like, oh, but I drink Diet Coke. I'm speaking at a convention in DC in a couple of weeks and they had a nutritionist last year saying, and these people have a big inflammatory disease, and they said drinking Diet Coke is okay. No. And it was so embarrassing. So this guy, he heard about me, and like, I want you to speak because I'm going to be talking about green juices and smoothies and all this stuff. So anti-inflammatory the right way. So I'm going to just pour it in here so that we mix everything together. Yeah, but for people who don't know what greens are like and they're afraid of it, always make it sweet. Make it like pineapple-y more and just a little green so they get used to the color. And then the color doesn't scare them so much. And also use this pulp for your smoothies too. Like I'll pick out just the kale pulp separately and put it in my smoothie. But does everybody know when to drink your smoothie, when to drink your green juice? Do you guys know? No. Okay. So you know how the juice has pulp, the juice has just juice and the smoothie has pulp and juice, right? So I have a rule of thumb. If you're hungry and tired, then you have a smoothie. But if you're tired but not hungry, drink a juice. Also in the morning, it's great to have your juice, just like first thing goes right into your blood. But if during the day, I'm always using that as an example to make sure that I don't try to be good. Oh, I'm going to be good and have a juice when I'm really hungry, and then later on I'm going to binge on something that wasn't good for me. So if you're hungry, have a smoothie with a pulp to keep you satisfied. But if you're just tired and you need that jolt of energy in your blood, because juice doesn't need any digestion. So it goes right into your system. Do you have any questions?
What kind of kale is that? It looks very healthy.
Well, I have a Z-tip on kale.
Yeah.
What kale to use? I like to only use the green curly.
Green curly.
The green curly. The purple curly is very bitter.
Okay.
So you need much more sweetener. And I like to eat and taste things that taste good. And I find it's just too bitter.
Do you buy the green curly?
Green curly and the Lusitano kale, the dinosaur kale. I like it, but I prefer it for kale chips because it doesn't fall apart. It's thicker, so I don't like to use it for just juicing. And I find that the curly green is fine. And I'm gonna save this to push the. So now we're gonna have all our juice. So you have very little juice from the kale, but a lot of nutrition. And if you guys are on a budget or on a tight schedule and you don't have time to like put the kale and the cucumber and stuff, buy bok choy. Bok choy is the 4th most nutritious vegetable. You have kale, you have collards, and then you have watercress. And then you have bok choy. And then spinach is like way, way, way down. So bok choy is a lot of water. It's a very watery vegetable. So when you juice it, you have tons of water and nutrition. So you get two basically for the price of one. And then you can put like some pineapple to sweeten it and some herbs. So see how it starts like to pile up? That's when we need a little bit of kale that I wanted to save. And I juiced, like you saw, I juiced everything, the stems and the...
I thought you were supposed to combine fruits and vegetables.
Yes, so some people go with a very orthodox. I go with the way I feel. You know, if I feel like I want a green juice but I want it sweet, I'm gonna do it. Orthodox, of course, you know, it's the same thing. Like, you know, you don't mix and match certain prints in your outfit. But I go with how I feel, and it works for me. But for people who are sick, who are detoxing, who really need to separate their fruits and vegetables to make sure that the body's not too busy processing the food and then can focus on healing, then yes, of course you want to be more orthodox about it. But if you're feeling fine and it doesn't give you a stomachache, then I would say, you know, do what your body tells you. Use your own internal doctor for that. I love my little green cappuccinos. But I find that for newbies, if you just have straight up greens, they will quit. They just won't do it.
I don't know.
Huh?
I mean, I've been a vegetarian for a gazillion years and raw, mostly raw for about 5. I don't even like only just greens.
Yeah, I mean,
I need some kind of,
yeah, everybody's different.
I'll use
even an avocado and apple.
Mango?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use different fruits. I like my mangoes too. I like mango mostly in smoothie though, because it's easier to make in a smoothie than the juice. But it's really whatever you feel like. And eating seasonally is something that I really like to advise people. Mangoes are season now. You know, eat more mangoes. And listen to your body. You know, like if you have digestive issues, mangoes is very soothing to your digestive tract. So like yellow fruits and vegetables like sweet potatoes are really good for soothing the internal organs. You know, if you feel like you want energy in your blood and you need some iron, make sure when you juice your beets, use lemon with your beets. Do you guys know about that?
No.
Vitamin C will help your body absorb the iron from the beet. So put some either lemon, it works great, or pineapple, some vitamin C, orange. So, do you guys have any other questions?
Yeah, what about using berries?
I don't use berries personally. I just love to eat them because they have great fiber. And my personal rule of thumb, juice your greens, eat your fruits. That's why I like it, because fruits has sugar, and I personally, if I drink sugary juice, it's gonna go right to my blood and I have too much energy, and I wanna slow down the release with fiber. And berries are a great source of fiber too. So I like to eat them whole or make them in a smoothie. But I don't like to throw away that fiber from the berries. That's me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question. I've seen some recipes using a sweet potato with the, smoothie, but how do you suggest cooking it first? Like you just cook it in the oven first?
Sweet potato? Well, sweet potato you can make raw. I make a raw sweet potato pie. If you want a raw sweet potato, you can juice sweet potato. You can juice it. Oh yeah, you can juice like carrots.
You don't like to cook it?
No.
Oh,
You
no.
can spiralize a sweet potato and make
Yeah.
sweet potato salad.
Mm-hmm. You can. I mean, if I feel like if it's hot outside, cold outside, and I'm, like I was saying to Noah and Sister Goddess, if I'm in Boston and it's, January, I want a hot sweet potato, I'll have a hot sweet potato. But if I want sweet potato, but I want all the nutrition from it, I'll make a sweet potato pie for Thanksgiving. It's really good.
Oh.
Yeah, or you can make the juice or the spiralizer.
Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even eat potatoes raw.
When I was a kid, I used to eat raw potatoes, like regular potato. And everybody's like, tell my mom like I was gonna get sick. And my mom said, well, if she craves raw potato and she doesn't get sick, then obviously her body needs something. And I would eat green berries and raw potato, and my body needed it, and I was fine. So I figured, everything pretty much can be eaten raw except for like black beans. You don't want to sprout those big beans. But everything else, I think you can eat raw, like vegetable. And I sprout like long beans or azuki or chickpeas, like small beans. But I eat everything else raw.
So that's what they're meaning in the recipe when
they're saying add a sweet potato. They're not saying cook it first.
If you're doing it in a juice or in a raw recipe, just sweet potato. I mean, peel it.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Let me taste the juice to make sure that it's good. I didn't want to add all of them. I will have some lemon to make it a little tart. Or some good liver detox.
That's where the vitamins are. So I don't feel
You don't, yeah, you don't.
I don't feel my.
It depends. I do, but I guess you don't have to. Yeah. Now I do want to tell you that I forgot my mistake to use a strainer in this juicer, and you have a strainer to strain away some pulp. So there is some pulp from the pineapple in here. So I hope it's okay with you guys. It's good for you. It's good fiber. I'm gonna add a little lemon. But usually I would use the strainer to strain away all the pulp so it's a clear, just plain good old juice. And that's great for the cleanses and detoxes so your body's not busy processing anything, any fiber just goes right into your blood. All right, so should I just go ahead and pour? All right. Oh, look how cute the little bees and little flowers. See, I have a flower because my company originally was Let Yourself Blossom. And now it's just in the tagline, actually, Let Yourself Blossom with Couture Nutrition. And I tell people it's not about me doing anything, it's not about you doing anything. It's about you just letting yourself, being yourself when you give your body the best fruits and vegetables, the best water. It's like nurturing a plant. You know, you're letting yourself blossom, like planting a seed and watching it grow. So you want to feed your body and nurture your body with the right nutrition for you. So, all right, and I think we're ready to have our, oh, beautiful, excellent. All right, I'll pour them, or should I clean up the table so we have more space?
I'll pour.
Okay, and then I'll clean up.
You can keep on talking. Does anybody have any questions? And then we're gonna.
When you say, do you include among raw food artichoke, asparagus?
I like raw asparagus. I'm not a fan of artichoke usually. I only had it marinated. I never do anything with it raw personally, but I'm sure there's other ways to use it.
I've had small artichokes, like baby artichoke raw. They're very good.
Yeah?
But I don't think when they're big,
Yeah, they're too
when
hard.
they're big, they're too hard.
You pulled all the leaves off and you soaked them, how'd you make them?
Say it again?
How did you make a little raw, never mind, let me not take it.
Yeah,
I was a guess. Yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions?
When I do my green juice, I do it just in a blender. I've got like a high-powered blender.
But that's a smoothie. So you have the fiber, and so let me just explain
Yeah.
why you need one or the other. When you're doing a detox, okay, imagine you go to work, right? You come to work and your boss goes, hey, I'm gonna pay you for taking a couple days off, and you can do whatever you want. And you're like, oh my God, I'm getting paid so late to go out of town, so I'm gonna clean my house. So you're getting a free day off to clean your house. That's what happens when you get a juice. You don't have to digest anything, you don't have to do anything except for assimilating it right into your blood. And the body goes, oh my gosh, I just got paid in this perfect nutrition, and now I get to clean house. So I get to clean up this organ, heal this organ, give this organ a break. So you really start cleaning. When you do a smoothie, you still have the pulp. So it goes into your digestive tract and your colon, and your body has to like take this fiber, put it here, take the nutrition out. Still less work than eating whole, but your body still has to do some work. So it's like giving your body half a day off. You know, so look at it this way, because I tell people like it's like cleaning house. A detox is like taking the garbage out, and you have all this dust, and you know it's like tiring. That's what happens in your body. You feel tired, and you feel like all this phlegm comes up, and that's your body detoxing. But then when you come into your house and it's all clean and nice, you go it's the same way. You feel light and clean in your whole body.
Okay.
But as you get older, say from 40 on, you need more fiber. Or you
Yeah.
get diverticulitis.
Diverticulitis.
Because I juice a lot.
Right.
And
See, I would like, sometimes I love my smoothie, but sometimes I want the fiber from just eating a banana or eating a mango. So I'll get my fiber from actual fruit, or vegetable. I don't want to juice it. Or sometimes like it's cold out, I feel like having an oatmeal. And I'll get some fiber there, but I don't want to have a smoothie and an oatmeal. It's going to be overwhelming. So I'll have a juice and a oatmeal, or I'll have a juice and a banana. You know, if I want the green juice, but I don't feel like digesting all those greens, because greens are pretty heavy to digest on the body still, heavier than fruit. And fruit has the most, you know, it has magnetic food, it has the most lymph moving food. So you really want to move your lymph more than anything, because that's when the stagnation and the disease starts. And fruit can be really lymph moving, and I love to eat my fruit instead of drinking it. Like watermelon moves your lymph like no other, you know, so I don't want to juice it. But sometimes I do want to juice it with a cucumber and have something else. So you have to really, like, it's like playing with outfits. That's why I tell people, like, sometimes you want to wear a coat, sometimes you want to wear a t-shirt, sometimes you want to put the skirt with this top, and that's what you do with the food. No 2 days are going to be the same for me. I don't have a routine. Like, every day I start with the green juice. Sometimes I don't feel like green juice. I don't want to look at green. Like, I had a digestive issue. I didn't want to see green. I like orange and yellow. And I was telling my friends, like, I'm craving orange and yellow. They're like, orange, like fruit, and what's yellow? I'm like, no, I just crave color. Like, I crave orange color, or crave red color when I was sick and I needed a boost in my immune system. So you have to really see what works for you and get your fiber the way your body craves that fiber. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the fiber, you don't need it, and it's taken out when you juice.
Yes.
So it goes right to your bloodstream.
Exactly.
That's the difference. So when I keep it in my smoothie, even though it's a green smoothie in the morning, my body has to work.
Has to work
harder.
some. Has to work less than eating a burger.
Yes.
You know.
But still.
And if you look at it, I think I wrote a blog about it. Fruit, like juice, is least digestion. Then you have your smoothie.
Yes.
Because it's pre-digested in the blender. Then you have your fruit. Then you have your vegetables. Then you have, I don't know, like the legumes, like sprouts, and nuts and seeds and like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's say you don't have a juicer, can't you just take a smoothie and like put it through a nut milk bag?
I do that sometimes. Yes, so you can make a smoothie,
Yeah.
and then you take a nut bag. You can buy any paint straining bag at Home Depot, and just strain your juice through the nut bag.
Okay, then you're keeping all the.
And then you keep the pulp out. Basically, you're just getting all the nutrition. Like
What
when
is
you
it called, a nut bag?
nut bag. Yeah, it's just a straining bag. It looks like a mesh, and I do it in my
Nut milk,
parents'
it's called
house.
nut milk bags.
Yeah.
Nut milk. You can make nut milks in it.
Yep.
Also, that's good, so I can keep the clients I have.
Yeah. But just be mindful. I don't like when people say, I'm being good, I do this, or I'm being bad, I do this. So juicing is not good or bad, because you have to listen to your body. Sometimes you want more than the juice, and the smoothie is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I
Like
usually
in a-
wake up very hungry.
Yeah, then you want to do smoothie. But sometimes in the middle of the afternoon, you need to pick me up, then you need your juice and not the smoothie, because you just need to pick me up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else, any questions?
So maybe you can remind everybody where you are, how to find you.
Yes, I have my cards.
She
I
has
was there.
cards.
So what I specialize in, I love teaching. I love doing groups. I do detoxes. I do at-home classes. I had some clients who would just get some friends together, and they would get all the food products, and I would cook and we would eat, and it was so much fun. So I do private one-on-one coaching sessions too. A lot of people know what they should be doing. They know greens is good, burgers are bad, cook burgers, but they don't do it. So I teach people how to transition the right way, and I coach them, because it has to do a lot with emotional component and also social component. A lot of my clients like to go out, like to have a life with friends who are not vegan or not raw. So how do you make it all work? And I teach at Whole Foods in Boca every second Tuesday. It's $5 only, so if anybody wants to come, you have to sign up the first day of the month. Otherwise, it gets sold out.
And it's every Tuesdays?
Every second Tuesday of the month.
And what time?
7 p.m.
Okay.
And we did this amazing key lime pie with a macaron crust. Really good. And then we're making chickenless chicken salad next month in June. And then I also like to do videos, and I speak. I'm a public speaker, so I'm doing a convention in DC in 2 weeks, and then just educating people. So my goal is to plant a seed and let it blossom. I'm working on creating a TV show. So I would like to show people how to do this quick and easy, and they can watch me on TV, and I can chat away. We can have people who have issues that they want to resolve with food and guests and all this stuff. So I'm putting it out there to create a show that's going to be healthy and delicious and let people blossom.
That'll be
So thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Send a letter to Montel Williams and
Yeah.
ask him if he wants to.
If anybody knows any contacts, I would love to do that. I'm open up to whatever the universe.
That's okay.
I did a special PBS. So PBS asked me to do a special. They did a fitness video, and I was in a fitness video. I was working out. I was doing my little thing. It was awesome. I was really scared because I don't usually work out, and I started to. And I did a smoothie recipe, and so the woman who was doing it with me, she was like, "You gotta put this kale, what?" And I said, "Yeah, it's gonna be great. And it's for osteoporosis because people think milk is gonna be great." And I'm like, "No, but they don't know."
Yes.
So I did a smoothie with almond milk and kale, and I told them how much. Like, 2 leaves of kale have like 200 milligrams of calcium. It was pretty huge. And so I did that. So whatever is gonna come up, and it's all working out in perfect divine time. So. But thank you for being here. Email me if you have any questions. I love to answer questions. I blog about food according to fashion, and so just to help you guys in any way.
So let's give Sister Dawn a Cheers. And the quickest way we're going to do this today is what I'm going to do is I'm going to do row by row. So I'm going to ask the first row to come up. If you have food, come and prep it, put it. We're going to put desserts on this side. We're going to put food on this side, and we're going to set up the table as we go.